Why 60% of Gen Z men aren't dating? If I saw this title a few years ago, I would be like, yeah, nah, that just is bullshit. But you know what? I'm actually seeing it online and in real life. But when it comes to my friends, maybe like two of my friends don't have girlfriends, and that's it. And one of them is married. All of the others already have girlfriends. So, yeah, that's interesting. And of course, I'm the single friend as well.
So there's a massive epidemic going on with young men, Gen Z specifically. 60% of them under 30 are not even dating. By the way, 62% of them are not even wanting to date. Gen
I'm
Z
dating.
men.
I'm not in a long-term relationship, but I'm dating somebody. It's been like a month.
This is a high of 2019 when it was 51%. So even though they're getting older, the older they get, they're like, I'm not even interested in dating. Why not?
What?
You know what the average cost of a date is for Gen Z today? When they go out, $205. Who's expected to pay for it? Of course, men.
You know, you can just go on a walking date to the park. That's what I usually do, by the way, and it works.
Average cost for dinner is $252. Gen Z is
$200?
$205. The national average is $189. We need more Gen Z dating because we need more babies, especially with our birth rate dropping. I'm going to share with you, if you're watching this as a young man, St. Pat, what can I do to succeed in a market? Because I'm looking for girls. I'm going to give you certain tips that helped me when I was 23. Hopefully it'll help you.
I'm expecting to hear a lot of stuff with money and a lot of stuff with looks. And I'm hoping to see a lot of personality stuff, okay? Because everybody talks about the money and looks part, which is okay, I get it. Nobody ever talks about the personality part.
That as well.
I'm not that good looking and I'm not rich. And I've gotten action, okay? And I'm annoying as well. I just try a lot.
Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Specifically,
okay.
The 51% of you that consume the content on a weekly basis, but you still haven't subscribed. We're on our way to get to 10 million subscribers.
Subscribe. He's right. Subscribe to my channel, please.
It would mean a lot to us if you take a moment and smash that subscribe button.
Subscribe to my channel.
Let's get right into it. Okay, crisis by the numbers. We already know 60% of young men are not dating. 62% are not even trying to date, up from 51%, compared to just 34% for women. So women are like, no, I want to date. I want to go out there and meet people. Young men are like, no, I'm leaving the marketplace. I don't want to do this. Apps like Tinder are heavily skewed towards male users. 76% of Tinder users are men. So guess what? It's like going to a nightclub and it's not ladies' night. You're going to a nightclub and everybody there is
also like a man will get five likes, a woman will get 1,000 likes, and she's overwhelmed. And you'll think that she just rejected you just to like, even though you matched her for some reason, she has so many people to go from, she forgets you. And of course, it might be because you're ugly or average like me. I'm like 4 out of 10, right? And a lot of them swipe left.
Men at a nightclub.
In real life, I've got more success.
You want to go to a place where women are there. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. Studies suggest roughly 80% of men are rated as below average in attractiveness, leading many to feel inadequate or ignored.
Insane.
You know what's the interesting thing? Today I came back from speaking at the school, and there's all these kids in this classroom, and I go up on the board and I write these numbers down. I write 14 and I write 3. I said, can I ask you guys a question? Can anybody tell me what this 14-3 means? One girl's like, that's a date according to a European calendar, and they're going through all this other stuff. I said, let me tell you what this means.
I thought it was 14 divided by 3.
I walk into this classroom. There was 14 girls to 3 boys. And I sat there and I'm like, wait a minute, these are great ratios. One of the guys,
for the guys.
My son. So I'm like, hey son, you listen, you got a lot of good options here, right? These are the types of ratios you want. So now if you're watching,
imagine he said that.
How do I put myself in a position to have more options? So when they say 80% of it's attractiveness, all this other stuff, look at some of the most beautiful women in the world. Are they all married to attractive men? Not necessarily. So what?
Usually uglies go with uglies, normies go with normies, and hotties go with hotties. And there's a few exceptions. But that's how it usually goes, okay?
These men have that these girls dated and chose to go with them. There's a reason for that. We're going to talk about that. So now, biggest dating fears. Pervasive fear of being perceived as creepy or toxic. Oh my God, you're too much. This is too much. This is too pushy.
It has happened to me.
Anxiety, a growing fear of being viewed as disrespectful, intrusive, or contributing to toxic masculinity
Fucking social
has caused
media,
many
man.
young men to stop approaching women in real life. Which, by the way, young men, if you're listening to this, you're creating this imagination. This doesn't exist. By the way, this has been around for a long time.
Facts. Trust me, the percentage of women that would like see you as a toxic, masculine, insane guy is so tiny and small, and you've seen tons of TikToks online of this very small percentage of insane, toxic women. Most of them aren't like that, trust me. I don't know how many women I've approached throughout my freaking life. I just did it yesterday to a gym girl. I just did it, and it went badly, of course. But you know, I do it. Do it almost every day when I'm out, when I'm not, and I'm not in a long-term relationship. So I'm very used to getting rejected. But my success in real life is much different than dating apps. It just is what it is, you know. And it's very rarely that she's gonna be disrespectful and insane. And even if it happens, just leave.
The hardest thing is today.
shouldn't give a
There was a
fuck.
video the other day with Charlize Theron, an actress that's been in a lot of different movies, Devil's Advocate, a lot of different movies. This is
I don't
supposed
know
to be
who
one of the
she
most
is.
beautiful women in the world. I think she was also in
Really?
that movie with Golfin, Legends of Bagger Vance with Matt Damon, if I'm not mistaken. Can you verify this? The girl's asking her, so how many men approach you? She says, you'd be amazed. Nobody. It's like, wait, what? You're this
And there's women complaining about this online that they want men to approach them. Take notes.
beautiful. No one's approaching me. Why not? I don't know. They're scared. Guys are scared. So you really think if 34% of women are out there that are off the market, but 61%, maybe men are just giving up and they're getting a little bit scared. Because the reality of it is women want the right ones want you to approach them, and a lot of guys are getting out of the market. This is kind of like when 2008 happened. You know what happened to realtors overnight? We had some 600,000 realtors in America in 2006, 2007. Overnight, 40% didn't renew their licenses. 240,000 left the real estate industry because it was so difficult. So it's like, oh my God, it's so hard to be in real estate. Yes, but if you're good, the market's going to come back to you and have an option because you have more homeowners that are looking for fewer realtors. So you can look at that as an edge. Now let's look at this because some of this is valid. Some young men are really going through it. As a matter of fact, what's so funny about this topic is this was the conversation we were having this last Saturday night when we were out with the family. It was about dating with my 14-year-old, 12-year-old, and my family was sitting there, we're going through it. Barriers to dating. Survey shows that the biggest barrier to Gen Z dating is not having money. 52% of survey agree. Watch this. Not enough time because of career education priorities. So I'm so
Yep.
busy. I'm just trying to get
I
my
mean,
career.
listen, most people, young people especially nowadays, they've got college degrees or are pursuing one, and you know, they have a lot of debt to pay off, and also they that can get a job, and eventually they realize they actually need a second job to be able to, you know, fucking survive. Also, there's a ton of them who are very illiterate when it comes to finances. Not that I'm an expert, but God freaking damn it, the first step is just not overspend on dumb stuff. And then you end up with one of these problems. I'm not saying it's the biggest, it's the only problem. It's one of the big problems.
You're going, I'm going to school. I don't have the time today.
I
Great.
never spend money
Men
on
agree. Women agree.
huge
Lewis
money
men
on dates.
Don't want to commit long term. So they're afraid of long term commitment. Okay.
I want to. I'm 24, okay? I've never fallen in freaking love. The longest relationship that I've been in is a year and a half. I really wanted to. Like, I'm very lucky with the types of girls that I've ended up dating for a longer time. They were all great women, like white material. I just couldn't fall in love. Am I a sociopath, mentally ill, some guys or something? I don't know what's happening.
Dating experience in
Lack
the
of
past. You know who's
confidence?
had it? Every single one
Okay.
of us. Either you were the bad experience or the girl was the bad experience, but we've all been part of that.
I'm
experience.
open to more bad
Most of
experiences.
us.
I don't
Lack
give a shit.
confidence. I'm worried. I don't have the confidence. We can work on this. Not enough
Yep.
money for dating activities. We can also work on that, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So when we go
Yep.
lower and we're looking at the dating costs, it leads us to this. Okay, dating, marriage, skills gap. Desire and attitude are not the problem. They want to build connections that explore long-term partner. This is young men. Young adults need dating skills. Lack of experience, social and emotional confidence, stretch, develop social skills, struggle to express interest in dating partner, struggle to communicate on a date. Less than 40%, 37% said they trusted their judgment when it comes to choosing a dating partner. There's a book I read.
Listen, videos like these are great, and I applaud Patrick for this. But Patrick is like a businessman, right? And a lot of other people do this, make these videos. They overanalyze and make stuff, and it's great. This is great stuff for you to learn, right? But the simplest answer I can give you is stop overthinking and just start like counting to 5 and just move. Of course, you should be working on your finances or just, you know, getting a good job or good enough job and being smart with your finances and not overspending and going on into insane debt, and working on your like gym and health and fitness and, you know, eating healthy, at least mostly, right? That's all the basics. You can't do anything more with your looks. you can only do more if you have the money for like a hair transplant or whatever else you want to do, right? Everything else, you're gonna give yourself more chances if you just stop thinking and just start approaching and start doing dumb mistakes, because that way you'll get used to it, you'll learn, you'll build up some social skills. You gotta do all three. That's in my opinion. If the more you get into this, the more you overcomplicate and consume content, you'll just continue doing the same thing and not start doing stuff actually, physically. You know what I mean?
My assistant many years
not
ago told me about it. I
saying
said,
this is
listen, I
bad-
just made a
bad
decision. I'm
stuff,
never
bad
getting married.
information.
I enjoy my own company. She says, yeah, whatever. I said, no, I'm telling you, I'll go to movies by myself. I'll go to dinner by myself. I enjoy my own company. She says, before you decide to be single the rest of your life, this morning I was listening to this Christian radio channel, and this guy was talking about a book called 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged.
Ooh.
So she says, you should go buy it. So I'll buy the book. It sits on my desk. I do
Before
nothing
buying
but-
books like this, research the author, please.
that I'm thinking, I don't have time to go through a book. I open it up. It's literally a question and an answer. You
Ooh.
write the answer, it's blank. So I went and
Interesting.
started answering all the questions. Some of the questions were not important. I think 54 of them were important to me. By the time it was done, I was like, all this time I thought I knew what I was looking for a woman. I was looking for this. That's crazy. And then I wrote out exactly what I want her to look like physically, literally, height, personality, temperament, because I wanted to see how she was going to be with my kids. My personality is here. I can't date a girl like this. When I did, we almost killed each other. It was like World War III. So I had to kind of find a way for temperament, right? I'm thinking
Yep.
family, kids, long term. And when my wife and I went on our first date, you know what I told her? I said, I'm not here to hook up with you. I said, I'm looking for a wife. I took her to Borders. I bought the book for her, 101 Questions. to Ask
Imagine
Before
how many girls have heard that. Less than 1%.
You get engaged. I said, if this freaks you out,
From Gen
I'm
Zers.
super comfortable with that. If you're just thinking, I want to go out and have fun, that's not this guy. There's plenty of guys out there.
Yeah.
I managed the expectations right there. And I made sure she knew I'm okay if I lose her. Too many times, if you're kind of like, well, but what if I lose her? That's a turnoff. No, this is my standards. This is what I'm looking forward to. This is what I'm going to do with my life. If you value that, let's go. If not, I totally get it. If your approach isn't that way and the girl's looking at you saying, why is this guy so insecure about his position and his situation, where he's at, this is where I'm at, this is what I want to do.
How are you gonna remove that insecurity? If you just keep going, keep doing it. I'm not talking about sex. Yeah, that's one of them, of course. I'm talking about approaching. Okay, the first 3 approach are gonna be fucking disgusting. The first one especially. Then the next 5 are gonna be, you'll get used to it, okay? And then eventually, after like the 11th, 12th, and so on, you'll be like, yeah, she was kind of crazy. She was cute. She was insane. She actually said yes to the date, and so on, and you'll just get used to it. Trust me, it's way more painful when you get rejected from jobs, and everybody gets that stuff right now, like rejection emails, or getting fired if you're one of the middle-aged, like older or in the middle somewhere of the Gen Z ages, like me, 24, right? You've been probably fired or gotten rejected or something. You'll get used to it. It's fine. It's part of daily life, okay?
And remember, that wasn't the case with me in 2002 when I was 24 years old, 23 years old. I was,
Hey,
oh my
same as
God,
me.
I got to get this. But I had to shift my mindset because I had to increase my what? What was the confidence here? Somewhere it says confidence. I had to increase this. So when
Yep.
it says 37% questioning their judgment, why? Because you're second guessing yourself. You don't believe in what you're doing. Now, decision making with the business is the same exact way.
You don't need to believe in what you're doing. Just go and try. We're not talking about like nuclear science. We're talking about approaching a human being.
Raising your kids is the same exact way. Like, you know what? I don't know if I'm a right 100%, but this is what we're going to be doing. At least I'm leading to people I'm working with. So stay with me.
Yeah.
Because I got some notes I wrote on the side that I want to go through with you as well. So I want you to think about a couple things here. Remember I told you the Charlize Theron story? Remember I told you? Which is like, boys are not approaching me. Okay. So guys don't talk to her. Is it on her that guys are not talking to her?
So that means, so that means if you approach her, you'll be above one of the many more attractive guys out there who she liked, and they were too much of a pussy to approach her. And somehow you had the confidence to approach her. I don't know if that discouraged you or encouraged you, but
Is she too,
it is.
masculine? And guys don't want masculine girls, so maybe it's unattractive that you're too masculine. So some of the ladies watching this, I'm a girl boss, I'm a this, I'm a that. The other day I was watching a
I've
podcast
dated
with
that
Joe
kind of a
Button.
girl, yeah.
I learned a lot about women. I think I learned exactly how the fall of man occurred in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve were in the
What?
Garden of Eden, and Adam said one day, wow, Eve, here we are at one with nature, at one with God. We'll never age, we'll never die. And all our dreams come true the instant that we have them. And Eve said, yeah, it's just not enough, is it?
What?
That's not
I
funny.
like how everyone's laughing
I was
except
just
her.
waiting for more.
No, that was kind of his point.
Yep, she basically proved his
She
point.
says, I don't get it. I didn't think that was a big deal. Joe says, the guy just made his point
Yep,
because no one can make you happy.
yep.
So, but those are not the girls to pursue because you're never going to make them happy.
Yep,
You'll
and you
be
watching online stuff, you think everybody's like that. No, they're not. That, trust me, most people are normal people.
Miserable if you're pursuing those girls. So if you're watching this, you're like, hey, I'm that girl. Well, good luck to you. I don't know what kind of a guy you're going to find, but you're going to make us happy because we don't want to date a masculine girl. So maybe she's the problem. Maybe.
And that kind of a girl will usually attract and end up with a guy whose only personality trait, whose only quality is the money and nothing else. And I'm not saying that's bad, that's great. But if that's everything about him, he's gonna end up with a girl that only cares about money, and he's gonna end up with he's only gonna get a girl that cares about money, and she's only gonna get a guy who just sees her as this object to fuck, and that's it.
Maybe it's on the guys that are scared saying, Mel, she's too pretty. She would never be interested in me. Maybe she would be. Maybe you ought to take the risk. Maybe
That's
it's
so
50-50.
dumb.
Maybe it's 5%. Is it worth taking the risk?
90% of the girls that I've gone out with are like out of my lane, like way above me.
Or what's the worst thing she's going to say?
90% of
Not
them.
interested. Okay, great. And you move on.
Not because I'm some rich,
And then
funny
maybe
guy.
You know, sex is too veiled. So it's kind of like, well, I don't know about that. I'm just going to go swipe right. And, you know, a couple of our guys, when we're on the road and we're doing interviews, one of our guys, I won't say his name, we're in LA, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to see what the LA market's like. I said, what the hell does this mean? I've been married for 16, 17 years. I've been in the same relationship since December 29th of 07. So I'm going to swipe right to see what the LA market looks like. I don't know if you remember this or not. How was it? It's actually disappointed. The next, I'm like, that's it? Yes, that's it. So you swiped right and you went and, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's become so
That's
transactional.
depressing.
Why would I flirt with her? I
Yeah.
already got what I wanted. So now you may say, Pat, that's not me. I want something serious, fair. Let's talk about that. So what is the purpose of dating somebody? What is the purpose of dating the opposite sex? Is it a fling? Like, I just want to go out there and have fun. Great. So your outcome is different. Go swipe right.
Yeah.
If your outcome is this, go learn how to DM. Go improve your DM game.
Yeah.
Go improve how to message.
The
better.
logic is the same. You just gotta like talk to as many women or as many guys as possible. That's it. And you just gotta be honest. Don't lie to them that you want to be in a long-term relationship just to like fuck them a few times and then ghost them. Don't do that. Be honest and from the start, please. I was like that when I was like 17, 18, but since then, like since I turned 20, I've stopped doing that. But I grew out of it, okay? It's different when you're young and dumb. I mean, I'm still dumb. But when you're 30 or you're mid-20s, you know, don't do that stuff. Grow out of it. Be
Go
honest.
improve what emojis to send. Maybe some of you guys send emojis of a certain vegetable, if you know what I'm talking about. And that's the wrong approach. Maybe you don't know the
no.
emoji game. Maybe you need to get a little bit better in the texting part, right? Because we used to
Who
make
cares
phone
about
calls, now people
emojis,
are
man?
texting. But if this is the world you're solving for, it's a transactional world today.
Yep.
We had to go pursue it. Today's transactional. Maybe you want to have kids. I want to have kids. I don't really care who the wife is. I just want to have kids. Maybe
Nope.
you're lonely and you want some attention.
Horrible mindset.
Friday night, you're sick and tired of going to the clubs. You would
If you just want kids and you don't care about the wife, horrible mindset. You should care about the wife. And if you're lonely and desperate, you might make horrible choices, okay? Get friends. Okay?
rather go out with somebody.
There's
have a
evil
companion
people that will
conversation. Your
use
day
you.
ends, you come to your apartment.
No.
You're sitting there watching ESPN Sports Center, and honestly, your girlfriend's become one of these guys on ESPN that you watch every night, or you watch a movie or Netflix or a documentary. I just want to talk to somebody. I want to have somebody. Great. That's
Yeah.
what you're solving for. Maybe you just want to be cool, right? And you're kind of like, man, I got a girlfriend, buddy. Look at her. She's a little hottie because I'm cool. I got a girl.
Yeah, this is
maybe
maybe teenage behavior and mentality. I get it.
Want a spouse. if you're watching this saying, I want a wife, and you want to have a family, you have to be selective.
Yep.
And your approach has to be clear. And even if this turns them off. So then this leads me to the last one. What leverage do you have in getting girls to come to you? What's your leverage? Everybody has to have leverage. Everybody. You ever see these Rupert Murdoch or Al Pacino or Robert De Niro, where they're dating 28-year-old girls? You think the girl's with them because they have a nice six-pack? You think the girl's with them because they have high energy and they go running 6 miles every morning? What do you think she's dating him for? Fame and money and access? Maybe. What's your leverage? Is it the fact that you
It's
have great
so sad.
connections?
I knew
That's
he was gonna focus on that stuff. Mainly, so I'm not rich, right? Maybe I'll never be. Maybe I will. Who knows? Who cares? But it always, have some skills that are gonna be transferable and to be able to get a job. Even though I say doom and gloom stuff about AI all the time, but we're still not there. It's happening, but it's not at a huge scale. And make sure you have something on the side. Like I work, plus I do something on the side, plus I'm trying to build this real estate business with my dad. Hopefully it all works out. But I'm doing stuff, right? But I don't want it to be just for the money. Okay, I want her to like me and have fun with me and think that I'm a fun person to be around, personality-wise, okay? I'm weird. I guess you could say quirky. And I don't want her to be boring and shit. So if it's just for the money, I don't care about being the 65-year-old with the 28-year-old girl. Nah. I want somebody that's been with me for 2 decades, 3 decades when I'm 65. And have tons of memories with her. And be fitter than the average 25-year-old. I want us to be a gym couple or whatever, right? Even at that age. And be active. And our vacations wouldn't be just drinking cocktails on the beach. No, they would be that, plus going hiking and running. And freaking scuba diving and jumping off a plane with a parachute. Hell yeah.
Be valuable. You can get into places others can't. So the girl's gonna be like, wow.
And I can do that stuff right now. I'm not rich, and I've done it. Not the jumping out of a plane. I'm still yet to do that.
Guy. He's very important. He's able to get into rooms in certain places others don't. Who is this guy, right? Maybe it's your faith. Maybe the girl's like, I really respect this guy. His faith, where he's at. Wow. His faith is above me.
Forgot to mention that, yeah.
So when the other day I was willing to do this, he says, no, God comes before everybody. Wait a minute. He's not as interested in me as God? No.
Ooh, that makes me want to fuck.
It's different. Everybody else would want to just have me drop my panties and then boom, we get to work. And this guy's not, no. There's something different about this guy. He's okay with losing me? He's interested, but his standards are higher based on the values. I'm interested in this guy. Maybe it's human nature.
Yeah, even though it sounds dumb and childish, it's a psychology thing. We tend to want the stuff more that we might lose easier or might be harder to achieve. And we are more attracted to that stuff. Jobs, objects, and even people. I just compared people to objects, but you know what I mean.
Good with people. Maybe you're great. Well, maybe you're great with talking to people. You're good at choosing words.
Yeah.
And you feel tension.
I'm not.
Maybe you feel when you're talking to somebody else and you kind of know, this is not the time to push too hard. This is my opportunity. Here's how I'm going to approach it in a more subtle way. Maybe I'm going to ask the questions instead of being a little bit too direct. Maybe in this situation, I want to be direct. All that is part of human nature, right? You see some guys that are so comfortable with girls, human nature. Maybe you're a leader and girls want to be led, the right ones.
I'm very comfortable. I can have a lot of fun and be goofy and be serious when it's the time to be serious. But that's the thing. I don't really take that stuff too seriously. And I'm nothing when it comes to finance and looks. I'm a nobody. Okay? I don't know, just don't take yourself too... there's going to be women that are going to like the more serious, taking stuff way too seriously. I'm saying don't take you approaching her way too seriously. Of course you should take your life and your job and your future seriously.
Maybe they look at you and they're like, wait a minute, this guy's calm. He knows how to calm me down.
Yep.
I feel very calm around him.
That's something I can praise myself on.
I like, right? Maybe this guy's going places, right? You're not
Eh.
like making all the money in the world. Maybe you're making 30 grand a year right now, 50 grand a year, 60 grand. But she knows you're going places when you
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to her. You're like, look, there's something.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of seriousness about this guy.
Yep.
Certain level, not all,
I
all the
agree.
time.
Everything
but
he
they
said.
want to see a little bit of seriousness with you. Whoa, this guy's serious. And if she is also in a place that is looking for the same
I think
thing
that's
as
like
you,
a combination that I have. Again, not perfect. This is just I'm just saying my experience so that maybe you can share your experience and also learn something from both of us. Usually when I date, right, I do say that I have a goal with this business and I do YouTube for fun, right, and I make some money out of it. Plus I work, and but at the same time, I'm not overly stressed and depressed and all of this, even though I say a lot of nihilistic dark shit, but that's my humor, I guess, and that's the kind of videos I like to make. And usually they are attracted to it, you know? I'm not a dating expert, I'm just saying what it works. And a lot of the times I say dumb stuff and sometimes they laugh and sometimes they just ghost me.
if you're in the market talking to girls that want this, or just want this, or just want this, you're wasting your time. If you're in the market with this and this, you have to also go talk to girls that are only looking for this and this. You're wasting your time talking to people that are not. What are you doing
Yep.
talking to girls that are not interested in that? So it starts with you as a young man knowing what you're looking for. So now, the other part, sense of humor. Notice it's a contradiction.
That's the problem. A lot of young men, we don't know what we're looking for in the beginning. Okay, we don't. Same goes for women. But, when you're in your young 20s, mid-20s, you still don't know shit.
In here. Maybe there's an element of seriousness, but maybe you're funny. Maybe you have a sense of humor. Maybe you're.
I wish I was that.
Levity.
I
And
wish
just
I
like
was
when
funny.
they're with you, you make them laugh. And like, I just love being around him. He is so funny. So maybe phase one of the attraction is not even your physical looks. Maybe it's just your energy. Being around, it's like, I just really like this guy.
That's what
And
I
then
said.
3, 6, 12, 18 months later, it's like, you know what? Why aren't you and I dating? Maybe we should date. I really like being around you. There's something about you. It may take a little bit of time, right? Maybe it's your intellect. We have a guy here, Connor. When he talks,
Yeah, being very funny and, intellect as well helps. Could help you a lot when it comes to women. And of course, when it comes to men. She can be very funny. That's rarely the case. Maybe I'm just an idiot and don't get female humor. But I found some funny girls, right? And they were great. But I wasn't physically attracted to them. So, guys, give more attention to physical stuff than women do. Of course, they're attracted to physical stuff, obviously, to how do you look. But they also give more attention to different stuff compared to us men. It's just, it is what it is.
beautiful. He's so smart. Maybe it's your intellect. Maybe it's your knowledge. Maybe you're so well read. Maybe
I
it's like
wish.
the way you teach or tell a story. You're like, man, that's incredible. This guy knows all this information.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your leverage. Maybe you're
Yeah.
famous. Maybe you're not. This is a 1% chance you're famous, right? You're
Yeah.
a Logan Paul. You're a big YouTuber.
Oof.
You're a big TikToker, and people know who you are. That's a leverage.
Horrible example.
Statics. You have money. Maybe your career's locked in. Your body
Mm-hmm.
looks good. You got a nice six-pack, muscles. Maybe you got a nice face. You're good.
And
looking.
again, you don't have to have all of these. And I don't think you'll have all of the. There's rarely any men out there that actually have all of these dialed in. And they can maintain them forever. Probably not, okay? But just trying to be better every week, month, year, in every single one of these paths and stuff in life. And just trying and going out and approaching. I'm just trying to simplify it. Try to learn some high income skills. Try to get a job. In the meantime, get any kind of job just to have a job. Or when you're in college, that's different. Go to the gym and eat healthily. Mostly, you don't have to be 100% serious, and you don't have to look like a freaking bodybuilder. The average person is fat, man and woman, okay, in the West. Status, just don't be known as a criminal idiot in your local area. That's the bare minimum. And then just don't be boring. That's it. And of course, being smart and driven and about something, it can be whatever. Very attractive.
Maybe
That
your
goes
family
same
is
for
well-known.
women,
They're
by the way.
powerful.
I
They're
love
fun. They're the pillar
intellectual,
of the community.
smart women.
Maybe all of those things are your leverage. So here's a question for you. We're going to make a PDF here right now to get at the end. I want you to score yourself on 0 to 10 on every single one of these guys. and then put a plan and say, which of these areas can I get better in? What can I do to increase my connection?
in everything.
What can I do to
For
improve
myself.
my human nature? What
Yep.
can I do to get better as a leader? I'm not that funny. Maybe I can be a little bit funnier. Maybe I'm going to always have 5 to 10 jokes in my pocket. That can be a good way to get people laughing. What can I do? Maybe
That'll make you overthink way too freaking much. Okay? It'll just make you overthink. When I overthink? Yeah, I think that's the correct term. But as I overthink, as I over calculate and all of this, then I end up not doing anything or fucking up. Just don't think about it and go and try. And if you fuck up, be okay with it. And be ready to be cringe. Because the first 5 times, as I said, it's gonna be fucking painful.
there's a way that the onus becomes on you. Maybe it's really on you, not on the girls. Maybe men just giving up on
Most
dating.
of the time
Maybe that's
it
a
is.
sign that you're allowing the market to make you want to not go out there and date. I'm not a guy that's going to allow my kids and my peers and my nephew and the people like that using that language. So maybe you ought to change your language.
Yeah.
I remember I used to be a part of all the girls, all this. I'm like, I'm done. It's not the girls, it's me. I'm going to increase my market value. Then what happens? Then I got something, which is the bonus, called what? Options. When you have options, you talk to girls in a very different way, and they sense it. When you don't have options, you don't. You know how it is in sales? I had a guy that would always come up and be like, oh my God, if I close this deal, I'm going to make $50,000. And I'm like, who else are you working on? Nobody. This is it, Pat. I'm like, you don't have a pipeline? No. You seriously don't have a pipeline? No. Do you know the month I asked my wife out and we went on a date, I was talking to 4 different girls? The month. The night before, my wife and I were in Palm Springs together, and she came and wanted to spend 3 days with me at this business conference, and we were not even dating. I had just gone through a bad breakup. The night before, I was talking to another girl I liked a lot. But politically, we were on complete opposite sides. Religion, we were on complete opposite sides. And there were certain things that she did that just didn't sit well with me. So there was 4 girls. Every one of these girls had read the 101 questions to ask before you get engaged. But I had options. Can you imagine if I'm just one? What if she says no for the oh my God, the rest of my life and the rest of my life? And
Yeah, I get his
Dude,
point.
She's not interested in you. Get
Yeah.
over it. She's not. But I'm going to change it. Maybe
That's
go
why
to-
you shouldn't be doing stuff if you're desperate and lonely. Fix your freaking life, get some friends, then this, okay?
Then maybe you watch Notebook 200 times and maybe that's going to be your story. And maybe it's
Yeah.
not. And maybe she goes find somebody else. Then what do you do? But I'm telling you, in 15 years, she's going to leave the senator and she's going to come to me. Maybe.
Spoken like a real, true, unexperienced guy in every field.
And I'm not telling you that doesn't exist. But I'll tell you one thing for a fact. If you don't have a lot of options and you don't find a way to increase your market value, you'll be one of these guys here that's talking about the percentages are so bad.
And
then, by the way, last
and listen, the reality is most men will not have that many options, okay? And most men will not be this overly rich, successful, great-looking guy. But most women aren't that, aren't a top 1%, whatever, right? They're not. They're just very overly confident because, well, when it comes to us males, the kind of advice we give is do this and this and this and try. The kind of advice women usually give is you deserve everything, you're perfect, you don't have to change all of this. I've heard my sister's friends, they're not like that, but they are very rare. Like, they're actually one of the ones who are going to tell you, hey, you look like you just woke up and it's 7 freaking p.m. Okay? You need to take care of yourself, fix your damn hair, get some nice fitting clothes, not what the fuck is this, and go to the freaking gym. Because even if you think this is offensive and you think, oh, you should love me, no, it doesn't matter how I look, you should still do it. Because as you get older, you're gonna have a lot of health problems. And who likes that? Nobody.
And at least what I'll tell you is where you're looking for them. Where are you looking for girls? Because this chart, if you look at these two, how couples met in 1930 versus 2024. In 1930, 22.48% was family, then school, then friends, neighborhood church, bar, restaurant, college.
Yeah, but just so you know, in a lot of places, back then, especially in like the beginning of the previous century, in the middle, there was a lot of incest in a lot of parts, even in the West. Okay. There was a lot of inbreeding. Now, those aside, I just wanted to make this joke. It was much easier because people weren't brainwashed, and most people weren't struggling back then with what do you call it? And I'm talking about the previous century, right? They weren't struggling with finances as much, especially after the Second World War in the USA. After that, right? People were talking more in real life, and most weren't insecure and just crying inside before approaching somebody. Like, what the fuck these days, where we can't even pick up the phone. No, I don't want to talk to somebody. Somebody's calling me on the phone. I'm too lazy and I don't want to talk to somebody. I don't want to make a call. What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
Co-workers, of course, the internet was terrible in the 30s, right? It didn't exist.
Yep.
2024, what's number one? 61% online.
Yep.
Friends, co-workers, bar, restaurant, family, school, church, neighborhood, college. Do you know what they said is typically the highest percentage of it working out? It's co-workers and friends. Do you know why? Because if I work in a place for 3-4 years, I see her habits, she sees my habits. We now have credit with each other. I know how she handled her stuff. She saw how I handled myself. I said, you know what? Because that's what happened to my wife and I. 5.5 years, we were in the same company. We were
But
always
what happens when there's very high unemployment and Gen Z can't find jobs? Then what?
dating somebody else.
Just a
And then
little
we were
job
both
joke.
single for 2
We all
weeks.
know
And I
what's
said,
happening.
hey, she comes, we go. I said, what are you looking for in a man? And she told me, I'm like, she just explained me. I said, great. We went downstairs. I had a glass of wine. She had a glass of orange juice. And then 3 days later, I'm driving her home from Palm Springs and I take her home to Van Nuys. Her friends were following us in the back of the car. For 2.5 hours, I'm just probing, asking questions. Monday morning comes, I text her Sunday night. I said, meet me at Jerry's Deli tonight. She does. She meets me Monday night at 10:30 at Jerry's Deli. For an hour, she's sitting there asking me, what's the secret to becoming a great agent? What's the secret to becoming a great agency builder? I'm like, you think you're here because I'm teaching you how to? I said, you're here, my line. And she told us at dinner 3 nights ago. I said, I'm here because I think you like me. And I like you too. And I think we should date. That was my line. How creative as a line was this? Not very creative.
That
She
doesn't
freaks
need
out,
to
gets
be.
up and runs out. And I'm
What?
like, wait, what? I'm like, did she really run out? She goes, but we're friends, but we're this. I'm like, what are you doing? So she leaves. I come home. I tell
Damn,
my
he was like, he was playing a sale job with this girl.
dad, hey, I'm going to go to Pasadena, Texas, because she's going to her family to visit on Christmas. He says, you can't, you're going to freak her out. I said, I'm going to Texas. She says, I'm telling you, don't. I take my dad on MySpace and I show her picture. I said, this is going to be my future wife. He says, everyone's your future wife. I had a lot
What
of
the
things.
fuck?
Anyways, so I said, no, but this is the one, Dad. He said, okay, this is the one. You know what ends up happening? I send her a question on MySpace and I say, aside from risk losing our friendship, what other concerns do you have? So I'm isolating the concern. She responds back. She says, nothing. My only fear is we're going to lose our friendship. Christmas Eve, I'm about to get on a flight.
What
She
the
calls me.
fuck?
We get on a 5.5-hour call together. She comes back home. We go on our first date, December 29, 2007.
No. This is not what usually happens. Okay, this is, I don't know when this was, 2002, 3, 10, something. This is not how it works. Okay, if you're like talking like a robot like that in my generation, usually it will not pan out. Okay, just so you know. That's my experience. And I've said a lot of dumb shit.
P.F. Chang's, and the rest is history. Now we got 4 kids together. So you have to also find a way to
Great
get out
for
there,
them,
put
man. I'm
yourself
happy
in the
for 'em.
market. And by the way, this is one. You know how many of them didn't work? You know how many of them said no? You know how many of them said they're not interested in the guy? Oh, I think
Of
you're too
course.
strong personality. You're too this. And some of them I was interested in. Like, no, it's too strong. It's okay. It's part of the game. The worst thing you can do.
He did one thing greatly. He was great at being himself. He had all the attributes of being, of being attractive, of a workaholic, of a good man, all of this, all of that. But he was a very strong personality, right? Very straightforward. And he didn't change it just to get some girl. He was like, no, I'm just gonna be like this. And eventually he got a girl that actually likes that about him. So don't be fake. Yeah.
Is bitch about it and complaining about it and join the market that's always saying it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. I'm not part of that community. And if you follow my content, you shouldn't be either. You should make a decision to be part of the minority that goes out there and leads. You should be part
Yeah.
of the minority that says, hey, I'm going to go out there and find a way to increase my market value, period. So with that being said, if you got value out of this video,
Yep. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I already said everything that I thought. Go and sub if you don't really watch this guy. He talks about a lot of different stuff, business and politics and shit. Whether you disagree or agree with him, you guys know I watch different kinds of left and right-leaning people. I don't give a shit. But yeah, have a nice day. Tell me what you think.